Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I am Army Piper. This is the Piper Academy Network, and market's kind of getting a little sell-off today. Uh, Stock market, all of the Wall Street kind of flat right now. Dow Jones taking a little dipsy-do to the downside. But yeah, you guys can see here on the daily, a lot of red around me. Look here at the hourly. We're starting to get a little flip back to green, guys, but I'm expecting, like I said, a lot of volatility this week. Today is a huge day. And if you guys do not know what is going on today, it is FOMC day. You guys should know this. I'm pretty sure you guys know this. You guys know. You know. It's FOMC day. We got Jerome Powell going to be coming out today, dropping the rate decision for the Federal Reserve, and then he's going to be doing a little speech. We've also just got the White House crypto report that was dropped. By the way, I'll give you a little foreshadowing there. No mention of Bitcoin strategic reserve in that at all. And then what else do we have in the news? Earthquake off the coast of Russia caused a tsunami, about 4-foot waves. Nothing major hit Hawaii, I guess California. So Alexander G, I'm glad to see you're not underwater out there, because that also hit California, Alaska. So you've probably seen that around in the news. But the big news today, guys, the big news today, besides ADP job numbers and the GDP coming in good, Chase, JP Morgan Chase just did a partnership with Coinbase. It's going to be going into effect. And this is a really big deal. I'm going to break down why it's a bigger deal than what you might think it is. But I have the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. I travel a lot, and it's a phenomenal credit card for that. And I've earned a lot of points that I could have been making even more money. I'm going to flip money into more money, and then into more money, and then into Bitcoin. And I'm going to explain how that's all going to work for you guys using my Chase Sapphire Reserve card, and how it's going to be a Bitcoin maker for me. But guys, you guys know what time it is. Everybody, we're going to come back and talk to all of you in a second. I see you all there in the chat. I need you. You saw that? You saw that. I see you guys. I'll see you guys in a minute. You guys know what time it is. Get your notebooks out. Take a seat. Class is in session. Let's go. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. We're going to talk about this sideways consolidation that we're still in on Bitcoin, guys. It's really just holding on that 236. Got the pen and paper, Gen X Fairy Godmother said. But OC, let's go ahead and bring him up here. Because OC, I maybe have to come visit you more often. Just, because I have that Chase Sapphire Reserve travel card, and I use it for travel, and it makes a lot of points. You'll see a majority of my points are made on travel. So, and restaurants. I eat out way too much. But how you doing today, OC?
I'm doing fine. But where am I? Where am I?
You're
Am
in
I
my
just in
studio.
all of my
You're in my studio now.
nice?
Look,
Love
OC
it.
is now in the Piper Academy studio. We even got him a nice neon of his OC guy.
Oh, the other way around.
We're
Right
we're
there.
investing. We're investing. We're investing in the show. So yeah, I've got a new background set up for you. You are in here right now, and you you said I got to go check out Bitcoin when you came into the show. So you jumped in on that chart, and then you said, yeah, it's sideways. Because you said, how's it doing? And I said, not too good. And then you looked at it and you said, no, it's sideways. It's sideways. We know this. This is Bitcoin's normal thing. I read recently 12 days. 12 days a year is the only days of the year that matter to be in Bitcoin. 12 days, bro. That's why we keep exposure. Yeah. 12 days. If you miss those 12 days, you miss an astronomical percentage of the pump from bottom to top. So, chop solidation, Gen X Fairy Godmother said. Let's go ahead and bring them up here, OC. Let's go ahead and give a shout out to all of our people. Let me get that up there. There we go. There we go. We got Darren Does Things in here. He said, hey, alumni, what's up? He's late. That's okay. Baba Yaz is in here. Eric Ballin Wallen, did you stock your fridge with orange juice for his coffee? No, I did not. Good Lord. Crypto Trades is in here. He said, "We on the come up, gang. A to Ace, Baba Yaz." That's Bedred. That's my boy over there in the Middle East. I appreciate you, man. Much love to you. You're back home now, though, aren't you? Up there in the Netherlands, I believe you are. I think you went back home. But yeah, good friend of mine. Love that dude. Little Fish. Appreciate seeing you here. Heart, Alexandra G, the mod queen herself, JR, is in here with us. One of our amazing traders over on the show. If you guys are missing him, he's got some good trade setups. Kyle N is in here with us. Username, I see you. He asked earlier, is his attic ready? Dude, that attic is hot. It damn hot. That attic is super hot right now. Got out of my trades yesterday. Glad I did. Yep, good for you. Good for you. Who else? Did I miss anyone? A to Ace. Did I miss A to Ace? I don't know if I did or not. But A to Ace, shout out, bro. Appreciate seeing you here, man. The man, the myth, the legend when it comes to the Cardano network. So, did you watch last night? A to Ace. I'm just curious. Did you watch last night on or listen in, I should say, on the X Space with Billy Goat Tales with Crypto Crow talking about what's coming with the midnight token or night token, I guess. I tried to listen in. I missed the first of it, and then I couldn't find it because they dropped, and then I caught part of the second half, but I didn't know if you'd listened to it and what your thoughts were. JB Hulk Smash, welcome. Could appreciate you being here. Crypto Coin Mindset, Keith, we're pushing over to you today, bro, right after the show. So we're going to be going over and hanging out with Keith, and I believe T.I. Joe will be over there. I talked to Joe yesterday on the phone. I gave him a call and said, Joe, how's the move going? So had to check on my boy. Sometimes, guys, pick up the phone, check on your battle buddies. And we are all battle buddies here in the crypto space because we're at war with the hedge fund managers that want the Bitcoin right now. So did you also see, OC, that there was a change yesterday? And I dropped it in the Discord and said, hey, this is huge news. Did you see that the SEC just changed the ETF requirements for in-kind holdings on their Bitcoin? Did you see that?
I see a post about it. I did not quite read it fully, but yeah, it seems like right now they will no longer be accepting the same characteristics for the upcoming, what was it, the XRP, the XRP deal, I think, and
Well,
also, I mean, that will also imply that maybe Donald Trump's blue chip ETF would not be coming through. Would it be?
no. The in kind. What this has to do with is so right now, as it currently sets, and this was written like this was one of the things that the SEC kicked back on all the ETFs for Bitcoin. They kicked it back and said, nope, it's got to be this. And the way it was set up was that if someone buys the ETF and the exchange or the institution has to buy Bitcoin to back that reserve for the ETF request, right? Then that's fine. They own the Bitcoin at that point. But when that person sells their ETF, then they must cash that out back to cash that Bitcoin, the institution. So that's now the way that it's moving now, they'll be able to actually hold their Bitcoin. It's going to create a lot more stable market, less volatility, because now they won't have to buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell based on ETF demands. They can go, we need a reserve of Bitcoin, and they can just hold it. So it's a pretty big deal. And I think that it's going to do a lot for the Bitcoin ETF. I think it's going to make people more apt to go, hey, you know what? I want to get in Bitcoin. The price is more stable, and that makes it more of a stable investment for me. So pretty good, pretty big stuff. But let's go ahead and jump in on the Bitcoin chart. Let's talk about where we are right now. We'll come back and knock out the news because we got a ton of news, and then we'll see where we're at with time to get into altcoins after the news. So, see, what do you got for us on Bitcoin, bro?
Absolutely. So just take a look at Bitcoin here very quickly. I want to bring up a little bit of what had happened in the past. And this is because, remember this range that lasted forever. I mean, it was, yes, up and down, up and down. Nonetheless, it was a range, right? And then ended up breaking to the upside. So just remember that it doesn't matter how painful it is. We can always be looking for that breakout. So just be patient here and also look for the signals, because right now the dynamic reactor is catching up to us. So we might be into one of these itty bitty portions, right, which had felt like forever. But look at, or remember that right here in the past, we had not only one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 ranges within the same huge range, right? That lasted for a long, long time. So just wanted to bring to your attention that despite dynamic reactor, it's a very strong indicator as it coming up and it's catching up. Well, not always it's there to bounce from, right? At some point, we could be breaking through, right? So just a quick reminder, and that is because if we go back to where we are right now, and let me just get, there we go, adjusted here, you can see that we are right here on a absolutely flat range, and dynamic reactor is coming up strongly. We have had the very first one here to touch and bounce, but the next one, as we are sneaking into the price action and we are below the zero line, that indicates to me that we might not have enough momentum to hold our ground above the dynamic reactor. So that's what I'm bringing this up, right? We have hold once. Most likely we will be holding twice, maybe consolidating over or above the dynamic reactor, and finally maybe having a sweep of the lows or something along the lines. I mean, I could be completely wrong, and then we could be going to the moon. But so far, the truth of the matter is that we have lost the zero lining here, and despite we're very bullish, well, we could have a little bit of a period below the dynamic reactor before we start catching back up, right? So we could be talking about something like this playing out at the end. So let me just grab my candle, my copy candles right here. Let's go all the way like that, and then paste them somewhere like in here. All right. So we could be looking at something like this before we continue back to the upside. But other than that, we need to give it some time. And I think this is going to be an amazing opportunity to start shorting the altcoins. So if we've been looking for a possible entry in shorting Pingu, by the way, Pingu hit right here at 5 a.m. So we could be looking at Pingu further ahead. Bonk, SPX, FET, and I think Sui. So those are the coins that we were looking at yesterday. Maybe we can do a follow up in the next segment.
I love it. Let's go ahead and jump into the news for right now, though. Yeah, I do want to point out Eric Wallenwald said they do over the counter anyway, so it doesn't really change price, but it will reduce the reserve flows, that exchange flush in and out, which will affect availability. So, goodness, excuse me, man. I had a sneeze come out of nowhere. OC got me sick, I think. That's why we're in the same studio now. And I got to deal with that idea that, now his constant cough going to get. No, I'm just joking. Let's go jump over to the news, guys. Let's check it out and see what we got over here. Looking here at the metrics from Into The Cryptoverse, guys. Right now, we're looking at the crypto market cap. We're sitting at $3.843 trillion. The trend line on this is at 4.132 trillion. We're currently undervalued 7%. This is moving back down. Okay, the number's getting bigger. So we are moving further away from being in the fair value area. Current risk levels on Bitcoin are sitting at 58.2% risk band. That is still a 2x on Bitcoin right now. And looking at the Bitcoin dominance, Bitcoin with stables sitting at 60.69%, without stables 64.95. So still holding above that 60% level on Bitcoin dominance. Let's go take a look at the fear and greed right now. Let's talk about that. I got a bunch of stuff in X marks the spot. Good Lord today. 74 is where we're at on the fear and greed index. We're sitting about 2 points down underneath extreme greed. We're currently current to this at 117,509. I think the price is somewhere in that ballpark. Yeah, it's 117.8 right now. So, big vote today could ban Trump from trading stocks. If you guys didn't know about this is coming. The Pelosi Act, and yes, I told you before, this is actually an acronym that spells Pelosi. It's aimed at banning Congress from trading stocks. It may now include the president and the VP to win a Democratic support. The White House is reportedly pushing back on the last-minute change. Of course they are, because he won't be able to trade anymore. But I'm okay with that. I don't think our politicians need to be making policy setups and policy laws and how things work and then be able to trade based on that knowledge. I don't think they should be able to. We don't get that ability. Why should the politicians? There are elected officials, and they freaking work for us. Okay, Kabisi letter. It's officially Fed Day, and the odds of the Fed cutting rates 2 times in 2025 has fallen to 36% per Kalshi. Meanwhile, the odds of one rate cut, which is what I think we're going to see, it's yes and no. Yes, it does, but the ETFs, they bought Bitcoin at those prices, Bobby. Yes, he asked, does the total crypto market cap include ETFs? So it includes the Bitcoin that they bought for those ETFs. So there you go. Yeah, let's get rid of that. So yeah, conflict of interest. Absolutely, I agree. So if Powell does not set the stage for a September rate cut today, yields are set to surge. All eyes are on the Fed. So odds of a rate cut now 20% for one, up to 25%. They're up 20%, sorry. And then for two, 36%. So we'll see. We'll have to see. What else do we got over here in the X marks the spot? New crypto report drops. There was no Bitcoin reserve. I told you guys about this. They do. You're right. Pelosi's husband to buy for. No Bitcoin reserve. The Trump administration just released this long-awaited crypto report coming out of the White House. We talked about this on Monday. Left out key details on the rumored Bitcoin strategic reserve. So nothing in there on a Bitcoin reserve today. Also, President Trump imposed a 25% tariff on India and a penalty beginning August 1st for buying Russian energy and military equipment. So he said, remember, while India is our friend, we have over the years done relatively little business with them because of their tariffs are far too high, among the highest in the world, and they have the most strenuous and obnoxious non-monetary trade barriers of any country. Also, they have always bought a vast majority of their military equipment from Russia and are Russia's largest buyer of energy, along with China, at a time when everyone wants Russia to stop the killing in Ukraine. All things not good. India will therefore be paying a tariff of 25% plus a penalty for the above starting on August 1st. Thank you for your attention on this matter, MAGA. So big hit there on India. And he's just putting the pressure, putting the heat on them to start to stop doing what they're doing with Russia. So SEC approves in-kind creation and redemptions for all spot Bitcoin ETFs. This is that letter from the SEC. Basically now it's a new day at the SEC, and a key priority of my chairmanship is developing fit-for-purpose regulatory framework for crypto assets markets. And today's approvals continue to build rational regulatory framework for crypto, leading to a deeper and more dynamic market, which will benefit all American investors. And then we'll talk about this in a little while. This video here, I got to play it for you, though. It's pretty funny. All right. TradFi. Let's talk about it. Let's get this refreshed, make sure we're up to date here. We are looking right now at a Dow Jones that's up 0.16, the S&P up 0.16, and the NASDAQ up 0.28. Remember, though, we do have 2 of the 7 of the Mag 7 coming out with earnings reports today. So it's Microsoft, and I think it might be Meta today, I think. But 2 of those coming in, so we could see this market rally up today on top of the Fed Reserve, on top of the, a lot of bullish info that came out this morning. So we are seeing that this is holding strong, but it's not up that much. Small caps, Russell 2K up about 0.5% there, in the VIX, nice and calm. And that's what we like to see on the VIX, guys. Sitting steady at 15.84 points. It is now down about 0.88%. What else do we have here today? Liquidations. The past 24 hours, we've had 130,859 traders get liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $282.3 million. Largest single liquidation order happened on Binance. It was Ethereum for about $3 million. Alt season, guys. Where's my alt season? There it is. It's at 37. We are going down, and it is falling far, far away from 71. This is why last week I said I think everyone's too bullish, because we are not heading into alt season. And I saw alt season, but none of the metrics are saying we were even close to alt season yet, guys. So settle down, stay the course, DCA your Bitcoin, and trade your alts. That's really what you need to be prepared to do. And so 37 right now, we won't hit altcoin season effectively until we go into 71. the score index score of 71 and then hold above 75. So we're at 37 right now, kind of moving away from that altcoin season as we go. So we had an alt week. There you go, fairy godmother. We had an alt week and everyone got overly bullish. Currently right now, for the bull market peak, 30 indicators that we watch here, all 30 of them are still sitting in hold status. So we are not hitting any of our bull market top peak indicators at all right now. Crypto bubbles. Let's go talk about price action here because we are seeing a little resurgence on the hourly, but the daily still pulling back a little bit. Bitcoin's just under 118,000. Ethereum is just under 3,800, and you can see almost everything is down on the daily, but trying to pump back up on the hourly. Bitcoin Cash is the only one that I see here, in Toncoin. Bitcoin Cash sitting at $570 right now. Chainlink is down about 2.4. Tron is down 3.6. BNB is down 3.2. So overall, just kind of a slow grind down, a slow bleed off on the altcoin section. Let's talk about this EDP, ADP, and GDP this morning, guys. First of all, can we get a moment of celebration that the 30-year fixed rate mortgage has dropped 1/100%? There's a joke in there. ADP employment change, guys, came out this morning, was negative 32, I believe it was negative 32, negative 33,000 jobs. They've revamped that. They got a little revision there on the number to negative 23,000. So they added 10,000 in that ADP employment number. We were expected to be about 75 on the consensus, only 20,000 on the forecast. We came in at 104K, guys. This means strong job growth. What does that mean for rate cuts? Probably not getting them, right? Because if your job market is strong, you don't need to cut rates at all. So there you go. Job numbers coming out today with FOMC. Very unlikely we're going to see a rate cut in this month. I still think unlikely in September, and you'll be lucky to see it in October, if not December. So GDP growth rate, though, guys, was expected to be up 2.4, maybe 2.5, came in at 3%. So we're seeing good economic growth right now on the GDP. This is the advanced numbers, though. This will get revised as we go closer into the final one. And that is what we have there. Of course, today, 2 p.m., it says 1 p.m. my time. 2 p.m. on the East Coast, we are going to get that Fed interest rate decision and that Fed press conference with Jerome Powell speaking 30 minutes after that. And then tomorrow, we're looking at core PCE, which shows a potential rise in inflation, slight, but a potential rise in inflation. This potential rise in inflation on top of these good job numbers all screams we're not going to see a rate cut. Crypto Chef, I agree with you 100%. I've actually talked about that numerous times on the show. He said job markets are strong because most people have 2 jobs. If you look at employment numbers, right, the chart's going down. But if you look at households with multiple jobs, it's going up. So that's exactly where it's coming from. But we don't argue with what the headlines say. We know what the underlying data is. But when the headlines say these things, that's what Wall Street acts on. And that means that's what we act on for in crypto, because Wall Street is going to give us that azimuth, right? So let's go talk about CME futures here right now. Currently, looking at a 97.9% chance of no rate cut today. So might as well call it 98% chance. S&P, little has changed as traders digest strong GDP report and await the Fed decision, which that's what we've told you. Look, there's the headline. I just walked you through all of that. No, little change. Let's talk about Max Payne right now, and then we'll go look at the Bitcoin chart on the daily. I want to talk about the Max Payne for longs and shorts first. We're still looking at about $120,500, 124.91. That is our max Payne for shorts, meaning that if the price pumps up to 124.91, then the maximum amount of liquidation will take place on shorts. And then 114,477 is our downside for longs to fill their Max Payne on their trades and get liquidated. So 114,477 downside, 124.91 on the upside. So I think that's about it. Yeah, you can see it there. There's that 120 range and there's that 114 range. So there's your 2 liquidations levels for Max Payne on longs and shorts. Let's go jump over to the chart. I'll bring OC up here with me because OC, what I've been talking about here on Bitcoin since Monday, and I actually put a trade out for the 0.236 fib here at 117,329, and it came down, and I got front ran right there. I did not chase it. And look, it came right back down. I'm in a long now on Bitcoin. On that 236, picked me up perfectly right there. Also had this set up on Ethereum, by the way, on the value area, on the point of control, I should say. And that's what got hit right there. So, both of those are in profit right now, but we are seeing a little bit of weakness when we look here at the oscillator on the 4 hour. Volume is dropping down, money flows in the red, oscillator ribbon is pushing down also. So we are seeing some weakness there on 4 hours. Let's take a look at the daily. Daily consolidating there above the upper gold band of the predictive ranges. We're kind of in this flag motion. We've got a little trend line there. Had a wick below it fake out, but that's what I'm watching there. It does look like the histogram is starting to come back down. Slow grind here on the signal line. Again, money flow in the red, oscillator down. And we are, as we told you yesterday, seeing this turnover on the RSI prime for more downside. So I would say that it's very possible we could be looking at that 114,500 to get hit, which would be max pain for the longs before we go and rally up to the upside on Bitcoin. So your thoughts on this, OC? Are you seeing anything else that makes you think differently than that on your chart, or are you in agreement with what you're seeing your way?
I think I agree completely on what you're saying right there. I mean, Bitcoin is looking like a little bit of a weakness at this point. We need to be a little bit careful because, and I mean, you can see it also on my initial analysis. Dynamic reactor is coming in strong, but it's sneaking into the price, right? So let me just really fast get to Bitcoin here. So where is it? Right here. Let's just wait
Here,
for
I
that
got
to
you. I'll
magically.
bring it up here with me.
There
Yeah,
we
you got
go.
a quantum reactor and a dynamic reactor running in for confluence right here below, and those are coming in about 115 to 116 there. So the 114 range is kind of interesting though, because that would be a liquidity sweep beneath this cluster here. So if we were to come in and break through both of those support levels, grab that liquidity, you're looking at the 113,678 there for that 882. So yeah, I'm seeing that also, the confluence there of some massive support. You can see what happened last time we touched it. It got a nice little rally bounce off of that. Matter of fact, what was that from the bottom side to the top? That was about a 4.1% move, which, 5x, that's 20% move on the chart. So I'll take it. Yes,
Nice,
that's the one I
love
was
it.
talking about, DDT. I entered in on the long for Bitcoin and the long on Ethereum, both of the ones that I posted in the Discord. So, yep, that's it. That's it. All right, OC, let's go
Oh,
check out a couple
uh-huh.
of other. What's up? What's up?
I was just about to say, by the way, a shout out to the alumni that was yesterday on Trading with OC. That was a fantastic session. Also, shout out to Username because he brought up video games. And we were talking about both video games and trading at the same time. It was a fantastical session. I loved it. I loved it. So, thank you guys so much for joining yesterday. Just needed to shout them out.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm going to bring this up here. Let's pass it over to you. What are you seeing on alts real fast? And then we'll jump in on this Chase article because I want to talk about that. Let's go ahead and take a look at altcoins while we got you here, OC. Pull your charts up and you're watching some of the big players right now that I think a lot of people have interest in. So.
Absolutely. Let's get started first for the winners, right? Yesterday, throughout the class, we went into a shorting here, right on cake, and it's been playing out fantastically. Remember that yesterday we took 50% out, move our stop to entry. Right now, this is a free trade, so let's let it run. I'm thinking that we could easily be touching all the way back down here to dynamic reactor, and especially since we have a golden line in here, dynamic reactor in a high order block. So let's keep it running. I think we can nail somewhere around 266 or 268-ish areas, right? So far doing great on cake that we took yesterday, and then going to AVAX. AVAX also was one of those analysis that we were chasing after, and look at that, very nice trade on AVAX. By the way, guys, if you have not yet taken profits on AVAX, this is the time. I'm not going to be pushing for a further move on AVAX, not right now. And that is because we are right here on the dynamic reactor, a liquidity zone. Yes, it is 50-50, absolutely, but I believe that we could be having a bounce almost all the way up in here, especially since there we go, since we have some supports at this zone. So let me bring out my support and resistances, and well, maybe my supports are a little bit slightly above here. So let's go for something like this. So should we be longing? Not just yet, because we don't have flip off the ribbon. Nonetheless, I'm gonna be pushing right here a long position. So let's go for that long position, a little bit lower, and I'm gonna be calling for maybe right here where we have 2301, and then setting up my stop loss right below the 255, and then give myself a little bit of a wiggle room, and we're gonna be here. Caveat here, looking for our flip of the ribbon. So let's go and mention that right here. So if OR, take the trade. All right, perfect. So far so good. Let's also add another alert for targeting this possible bounce, and then we're gonna hedge down this trade all the way down, because we could be having a movement to the downside. Let's go top down analysis really quickly. Sorry about that. And man, I'm already sick and tired of this. I don't know what else to take. So, guys, if you have any homemade recommendations, I will keep track of those. I do remember the little fish gave me one that played out very nicely. I don't quite remember what was it, but it actually cut it down quite a bit on my coughing here. So, Piper, turn on your antivirus, because I might be sending you something throughout the Piper Academy thing. I know. I just needed to say it. All right. Rising wedge on Ethereum, going by possible breaking to the downside. We also have a downwards movement here. This is usually a bullish signal to break to the upside, but we are below the zero line here. Yes, we have a hidden bullish divergence, but I don't think that we're going to be holding. Let's see, unless we really have something strong going on right down here. And so far, we are below the trend line that we already had. Let me zoom in here to see if we have anything else maybe worth giving it a try or a look. Not really. Actually, the next area of entry, and you can see that we are expecting that area already. It is somewhere around 3,552. So let's see. Well, maybe we can go look at that for a breakout. We have a support, so maybe we can bounce back to the resistance. And well, we have a line in here, just so you guys are aware of. And well, if this is a resistance, once again, maybe coming back down to grab some liquidity, where dynamic reactor most likely is going to be, where we have some liquidity to be grabbed, and also when we see some disperse, some retail money that will make us ranging here for a little bit before taking a decision. So I'm going to be looking for maybe shorting Ethereum if we start losing this trend line. So let's lock it. Let's add an alert to it. There we go. And that's what I'm going to be looking for. My possible area of entry is going to be somewhere around 3,643 for a scalp to the upside. But I'm going to be setting my alert a little bit above, so I have enough of a chance to come back down, enter, and coming back up if and only if I have my flip of the ribbon. Litecoin. All right, Litecoin is actually playing out very, very nicely as we were expecting. A little bit of this is that yesterday on Trade with OC, we had to take a decision. We actually took a Litecoin trade, a half of an entry, half of an entry. Right now, it's just playing out. It is touching right here the dynamic reactor. The next thing that we were expecting, or I was expecting, was a bounce to the upside. Right? It's not about your breakout; it's about your retest. Then you head switch a continuing downwards. But remember, if we're going down, the retracement is to the upside. All right. So we're going down, and then what happens? We are retracing, or we are correcting over time and not over price. So we didn't got that bounce, even when we did had a goose head and a flip off the ribbon. This is not strong markets. So most likely we're going to be seeing Litecoin continuing somewhere around this high order block. Possible re-entries, and if that is in case you can catch it, it is at the top ranging here, and let's add a possible scenario right here. Could be going up and then coming back down, maybe a little bit of a little bit of noise, and then coming all the way down there. Let's stretch this closer because I think I might be just overshooting. There we go on time. So let me clear this up so you guys can see it much better. And then also, of course, let me make it much brighter for you guys. There we go. So I think that that could be another point or perspective. And well, let's see, line, perfect, much better. Finally, BNB really quick, breaking as we were expecting, very nice. Let's just wait for that dynamic reactor because I need to see if we're gonna be bouncing back out soon, and seems like we might not. Yes, we are on a trend line, perfect. We are in a ranging zone, perfect. I believe that if we are able to make a little pause in here, that would be your reentry for dynamic reactor coming back down. Let's add an alert at here at 816 for a possible scenario for a reentry, and let's go for a short position right here. This is not a call, by the way, not just yet. This is just in case we bounce to the upside, all right? And then aiming right down here. Something important, it is that we can go back to, let me show you, back to all the way up here and then coming back down. So we need to be careful where we set our stop loss. So far, since I'm still above one, I'm going to be setting up all the way up here. But I want to use, there we go, my order blocks to set actually my stop loss and be a little bit careful like that. So here it is. We have a loud order block, pulling the price upwards. So we'll see if that flip of the ribbon, let me push it all the way down here, will be a reality. Remember, that's what we're looking for right here to enter, maybe for this short scalp to the upside, and then a short movement to the downside. Anything else, I think we can take a look at the next round, but we can go over Atom and XRP.
Awesome. Awesome. Let's jump over here and talk about this news, OC. So we had this news come in, Coinbase, and this is the thumbnail today, guys. And I want to talk about why this is a big deal because I don't think people understand the nuances and the system of how how JP Morgan Chase Sapphire Reserve card works. So I want to talk about that and why this is really big for people that use this card the right way. So Coinbase and JP Morgan team up to link Chase accounts to crypto exchange Coinbase starting 2026. The Coinbase JP Morgan deal adds Chase card funding points to USDC reward conversion. So the rewards points that you make on Chase Sapphire Reserve card can be converted to USDC on the Layer network base and direct bank linking for 80 million Chase customers. This is pretty big right there off the bat. Right out the gate, because Chase has a lot of money, man. There's a lot of people with money in Chase Bank. It follows a Fed, FDIC, OCC joint statement clarifying expectations for bank safekeeping of crypto and aligns with JP Morgan's deposit token work on chain while expanding bank distribution. Coinbase said Wednesday it's partnering with Chase to make it easier for banks with more than 80 million customers to access crypto, including the ability to fund Coinbase accounts with Chase credit cards starting this fall. Redeem Chase Ultimate Rewards points for Circle on base beginning 2026 and to link Chase bank accounts directly. So let's talk about the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. For those that don't know, it is these are the top 4 credit cards for the super rich. So let's talk about the type of money that could be flowing in onto crypto off of this, right? 4 credit cards for the super rich. Let's just scroll down and take a look. Of course, the American Express Centurion card. Yep, got that one. JP Morgan Reserve card. There it is, number 2 on the list. Another icon among the market's more exclusive options, the JP Morgan Reserve card, formerly called the Palladium card, is an invitation-only credit card, anecdotally available to those with at least $10 million in assets. This is not the Sapphire Reserve. This is just their reserve card. But this is just the type of money that's in this world, right? JP Morgan's reserve card details haven't been published. They had a card that's much easier to get than their reserve card. And I want to show you what it is. It's the Sapphire Reserve, and it looks like what's on the thumbnail today. Okay? This card earns 3 points on every dollar on travel, 3 points on every dollar spent on dining out, 10 points on Chase dining purchases, so things that they have offers themselves, and then you get 1-to-1 on everything else. This is my statement since January: 233,560 points. You guys know I do a lot of travel, but I also eat out a lot. So since January, I've had 88,968 come in on travel, 43,957 on eating out, and then all other purchases, because I use it for everything. You see, I used it for my Coke, Kroger gas. I use it for my monthly subscription on some of my streaming stuff. Google YouTube member, my membership for no ads. It's on there, right? I use it for everything that I can. I pay it off on the first of the month, so I don't pay any interest, and I earn these points. To convert these points to dollars, you're looking at like $2,335 worth of points there. Okay. My goal on this is I am going to use my card the way I've been using it every month, making my points on things that I'm already going to be buying. And then I'm going to take those points and I'm going to buy USDC. USDC currently right now earns 4%. So I'm going to earn 4% interest on free money that I got for not paying any interest, right? So I paid no interest. This is free money on points. Turn those free points into free USDC. USDC earns 4% free money on earnings, right? On the APY. And then I take all of that money during bear market pullbacks to buy Bitcoin. And we know what the returns on Bitcoin looks like, right? So using this card from Chase, and if I'm thinking this way, I know other people will start to move this direction also. So the big money people that have this card as a travel card, I do believe are going to be flushing a lot of money in to make a lot of money back. So if you had $5 in your, a $15 purchase, or you could put $15 on a credit card and then pay that $15 off, right? And not pay interest on it. Then you have money that's earned points that can now buy USDC, that can now get APY and all of that compounding interest on top of your points money that you bought USDC used to be buying things like Bitcoin, or XRP or Ethereum, whatever your flavor is. This is what I think is going to be this is why I think it's going to be a very big deal that they are partnering with Coinbase and Chase. So I use it all the time. Yes, there is an annual fee on this card, but I get TSA pre-check for free. I get global entry for free. I get $300 in travel credit back as a $300 refund for nothing, right? You spent it, now it goes back. So when you look at the all of the perks that you get from this, and plus the rewards points on top of it, it really does pay for itself annually. But I did drop a link down below if anybody wants. You can see here on the thing, it says how many times have I made points on this thing from friends, referring to friends? Bonus from refer a friend offers 0 points. So, but I have finally dropped that down there in the description here. So if you guys are interested in checking out this card and getting set up for the 2026, guys, use it for anything that will take a credit card. Use this card for it, and then turn around and take that money, those points, I mean, and work it back around. So it's pretty cool how this is all going to work out. And you guys can check out that link below, and you'll get bonus points from it too. I think it's like 50,000 or 75,000 for the Sapphire Reserve card. So, and yeah, there you go. Username. I know, but he hates it. OC, what did you say? Puppies are trading geniuses. They are trading geniuses. And I saw what you said earlier. Don't think I missed it. When they nap you short, when they want to play you long, I would be shorting all the time because my puppy likes to nap. Okay. If you know, you know. 2Dub, I see you in here. Welcome. I'm glad you could join us, and I'm glad you're taking notes. Guys, this look, you got to have some discipline. Okay. That is the fact with credit cards. You don't want to be one of these people that's, running up $1.8 trillion in credit card debt, right? So you have to be disciplined. You pay it off on the first. I have never paid a single penny of interest on this credit card in my life. No matter what I ran it up, I didn't buy anything that I didn't have the cash for, and I'm making free money off of their card. And now I have just another beautiful way to make even more free money and then turn that into free Bitcoin off of the compounding interest of APY off of the USDC that I got for free from rewards points for doing what I was going to buy anyway. So I think it's a no-brainer. But guys, check it out and let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the chat on this. And I'm going to clip this later on so that you guys can have a standalone video on this, how to make Bitcoin with your everyday purchases. And then OC, your thoughts on this, man? Because I'm kind of stoked about this. This is the card I've been using forever, and now I'm seeing this as a force multiplier for my Bitcoin investment. What's your thoughts on this, man? And
That
by
is
the way,
fantastic. Yeah.
I used this card for my entire trip when I came to see you too. So
That is awesome because that is opening the window for a much more complex, much more advanced DCA way to enter, right? I mean, you're transforming your everyday expenses into a cashback or kickback into something that you can easily transform without really needing to go and do another expense, right? So points directly to or almost directly to Bitcoin. So I think that is very cool. I think that is a something that we should be seeing a little bit more of, and I think that's going to happen a lot more. In fact, something that I've been looking into it is, hey, have you seen what other platforms might be giving you a higher APY? Because I don't know. Depending on how frequently you can cash out your points, you might be able to just take them out, and instead of doing, for example, a 4% APY on Coinbase or right on that card, you could be trying some other services that you might be having to your disposal. I'm not 100% sure, for example, bluffing, what is the current APY that you may be able to have there.
I'm not
And well, then.
I'm not sure, but
Mhm.
I know Ada Ace did mention that. He said if you bridge your USDC to Cardano and place it in liquid there, it's 20% APY. So I mean, there are other ways. I'm just I'm going the most simple, direct path with the least amount of connected wallets. I don't trust crypto space, but yeah, there are some other ways. Of course, you do inherit a little bit of risk, a little more risk the more times you branch out and connect wallets. So, but yeah, there absolutely are. But I'm not sure what Blowfins is for USDC either. But please carry on. I just wanted to give a shout out to Ada Ace on that call. So.
Absolutely. So, I mean, it opens up the possibilities to do a much more complex, if you want to, of course, plan right around getting Bitcoin. Because, as you mentioned it, you will still have some expenses throughout the bear market, right? And you will keep making USD or points that you can transform into USDC, and then well, that will just get you Bitcoin. So that'll be adding to your
Yep.
either increasing your purchasing back as it goes down, or making so you don't need to take some cash out of your earnings into Bitcoin. Also, not triggering maybe an expense or a capital gains notice.
Yeah. Well, so when you buy USDC with rewards points, that's just buying it. That's all that is. The problem comes when you earn your APY. That is income earnings. So for those that don't know that, that's how that gets taxed. Thank you to decrypted.tax for explaining all this to me. So that is income. And then when you buy your Bitcoin, obviously you've already paid that income tax on that, right? So you buy your Bitcoin, then when you eventually, if you sell Bitcoin, that's why another thing that I'm excited about is this is probably going to lead very soon to where you never have to sell your Bitcoin either, and you can take your profits out if you need to, or you can leave it there and borrow against it. So from the bank, and they'll custody it as collateral. So I think you'll earn some little bit of earnings there off of the APY, and that will give you the income taxation. But overall, yeah, I think it's a really good way to slam it. For example, I'm going to give you guys an example on what this would look like. Okay. So I've got this Haven cruise. If you guys know what the Haven is, it is the um, elite ship within the ship area on Norwegian cruise lines. Okay. You guys can look it up later. The Haven. I'm doing a cruise in January and we're staying in the Haven. and it is not a cheap cruise at all. You have a 24-hour butler, all this and that. It's one of those. I'm older. I'm retired. I've almost been killed off on this planet 4 times in combat, and I'm going to go and enjoy some things, right? And so that's a once in a lifetime cruise. I'll never do the Haven again. I'll go the cheaper route. I usually get a lot of my cruises for free because of the casinos. But anyway, I wanted to try the Haven. I digress. Let's just say, for example, that cruise for 14 days in the Caribbean is a $20,000 cruise. Okay. $20,000 earns 60,000 points on the card because, as I told you, you get 3 points for every dollar. So you're looking at like 60,000 points there. That's 60,000 in points is $600 in rewards. $600 in rewards bought into USDC earning 4%. It is a compounding $600 that goes up every single week that you get paid your percentage, right? To figure out the percentage, you do 600 times 0.04, that's 4%. And then you divide that by 12. Actually, you divide it by 52, and that's what you're going to get weekly on that. And it just keeps compounding because now it adds your new money you just earned on top of it. You ride that through to a bear market and flip that into Bitcoin where we're buying the bottoms. And we've always showed you how we do that with the MVP oscillator. You can very quickly turn things around that you're already paying for. Things like your electric bill, things like your groceries, your gas, things you're already doing, and compound it into gaining money that then goes into a Bitcoin bottom buy. And I just think it's a no-brainer, man. Like, this is a very cheap and easy way to grow your money from nothing. And that's the secret. That's the secret that rich people have figured out. They don't work for money. They make their money work for them. And this is making your everyday life expenses work for you to make you more money. So that's why I like it, bro. That's why I like it.
Boom
Nice.
shakalaka!
Love it.
All right, let's see. We got about time for like one, maybe two more. One or maybe two more altcoins. I'm gonna quit beating on that drum. If you guys are interested, check out the link below. We'll both get free points off of it, and then we can buy USDC together, and then we'll flip it into Bitcoin later. And username, here you go. There's a butterscotch for you, homie. OC, let's go check out a couple more of those before we head over to Crypto Coin Mindset and check out Keith's live stream. What you got for us, man?
All right, so let's take a look at a couple of other things in here. Let me get back to my charts. And this is BNB. This is where we left out. Let's go and take a look at XRP. XRP is just, again, flooding this out. We were expecting this bounce back and forth. We're not hitting those targets so far, and we're still seeing that, again, flooding it out. So let me just reboot my oscillator because I see it had a pinging error. By the way, if you, for some reason, have this kind of like a running time error, just click the gear icon, change something, change it back, then click OK, and you'll be ready to go. For some reason, lately, Trading View has been a little slow. They might be doing some maintenance or whatever. I'm not sure. But let's just try it one more time here to get our oscillator. So far, there we go. We are on the dynamic reactor. I need to look for or watch for. There we go. Where is it? Why am I not seeing this? My oscillator, and it's gone for some reason. Let me bring it up. All right, let's use this one. And yeah, we have. Yeah, man. Trading View. They don't know. They don't know their business. Look at that. What's going on? So whatever. We still have the prop loss in here. So important, we have a bullish divergence. That bullish divergence has not been reflected here. Nonetheless, we're getting close to an entry point, and I think we need to give it a little bit more time. That is because we are below the zero line. Our money flow is low, and despite we already have a bullish divergence in here, well, it's not confirmed that we are actually pulling back up from there. I mean, we could absolutely be doing something like that, like we have done in the past, like in here, right? So, and then a continuation forward to the downside. So points of entry, I'm gonna leave it as 2.99 and also 2.86. And that is going to be just in case we have those sweep of the lows and I can get a much better entry. So far, if that is not the case, I'm just going to stick with this. And if I don't get this entry, that is fine. I'm going to let it rip to the upside. And then if we break through, this is going to be my alert for then shorting the market. Because at that point, I think we're going to be creating a dead cat bounce right on XRP. Link, let's take a look at Link. We have a lot of support and resistances here. I do quite remember that I was making an analogy or analysis in here on adding and subtracting all of the data of all of the indicators at once. And well, we got this boxes. So remember, we were expecting here something like a little range. We range a little bit smaller or less than I was expecting here. We have a breakout to the support, very nice. Then bounce back to this area. Seems again that there we go. We're just a little bit off phase, which is fine. And well, then we're following right on spot with how and where we could be bouncing. So far, we are at support. We have the same possible that bullish divergence that we had going on right down here, but money flow is not playing out. This also seems like a goose head, inverted goose head. So I'm gonna be waiting for the next area of entry somewhere at 1640 for a possible short scenario from where we are right now. Am I going to be playing out that short? Not really. I'm going to just leave it there. Yeah.
I like it. You got one more?
Love it. No, that's fine. I mean, I was maybe take a look at ADA or Solana, but
yeah, go look at ADA. Let's go look at ADA, and then we'll head over to Keys.
Perfect. All right. So ADA, I was expecting to have a little range up here, but seems like that range is playing out right down there, and the play out of that range again is not the same one. So let's just get rid of everything here. And well, we're back at some support, but we are below the zero line. We're getting started here, and this is cool because we're also breaking the dynamic reactor, which means we can get a very nice setup for some movements to the downside. So far, we have an alert at 68, and that is based on the support right down here that we had previously. There we go. And well, then I think I need to adjust it like that. Perfect, much better. And well, then that's what we're going to be looking for: a sweep of the lows, reposition ourselves for a short, and then off we go to the downside. So I think we got a good momentum to go lower. So other than that, turn it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Guys, we appreciate you. That's about all time we got today. We're at the top of the hour, but I hope you guys got something out of today's show. If you did, smash up that like button. And also, message French Toaster. Tell him we miss him. I see the chat there. I miss that dude too. So if you guys got any value out of today's show, share it with a friend because sharing is caring. Don't forget to tune in with the OC guy on the Trade Live with OC at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then tonight, also at 11, check out LBC, Lunar Beaches Crypto at Markets After Dark. Tomorrow morning, BC Port Corp. Hopefully, we'll be back on here kicking it live. And then we'll be back at 10 a.m. talking about what happened. What the hell happened with Jerome Powell and the FOMC, and what threat is old Trump throwing out now if he doesn't cut rates? But guys, appreciate you all. We're going to be back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. bringing you guys the news, the charts, the markets, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. When we get over to Crypto Coin Mindset, drop the graduation cash. Let them know the alumni has entered the building, guys. We'll catch you guys later. Peace, love, and profits. We're out.
That's the rap. Chart stack data never lie. Piper led the mission, OC in the sky. Spaghetti on the screen, but the vision stay prime. Chart prime visual, signals on time. Alumni strong, we built from the grind. Lessons in the market that'll outlive time. Knowledge is profit, you know how we run. Till the next one, stay sharp, get it done. We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report out, 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 out. We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report out. We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report. Ow.
That was awesome, dude!